Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream. And in this stream, we will be talking about Sahara, a new and interesting blockchain which focuses on AI and AI developers. But it's not just limited to that, it's open for everyone. So, joining us today from Sahara Labs, we have Jesse Guild, who leads product at Sahara Labs, and he will be taking us, all of us, through in and outs of Sahara blockchain and how all of us can build and deploy our AI agents or datasets on the blockchain itself. So I will pass it on to Jesse, you, so that you can greet our audience, give a little bit introduction about yourself, and take us all through what Sahara is and how all of us can start building on Sahara.
Thanks, Sahil. Yeah, it's great to be here. Really excited to join this session. So I'm Jesse at Sahara AI. I lead the blockchain and protocol side of the product development here. A bit of background on myself. I've been in the Web3 blockchain space for the better part of 8 years of my career. I've been at a few different Web3 companies, including Avalabs and Zero Hash. And I'm really excited now to be kind of at that intersection of AI and crypto, which seems to be one of the really, I think, exciting spaces to be in right now. And so what we're building at Sahara is decentralized AI solutions for open and programmable ownership of what we call AI assets on the blockchain. And at its core, we're helping AI developers and data set creators to tokenize and monetize the work that they do and the contributions that they make towards the development of AI in a secure and transparent way on chain. So that's the overall background. So happy to dive into Hill, unless you have any initial questions.
Yeah.
Happy to cover those off. Yeah.
So Jesse, I read somewhere that Sahara is a AI native blockchain. It's an AI native network. So for all of us who are not that much fluent in with the AI space, because all of us are just degens over here. So would you like to explain in simpler terms that what does this term or what does this phrase AI native means in general? And what makes Sahara a AI native network?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So AI native really means a blockchain built by AI developers for AI developers, and so it's really a chain that really understands the process of AI development and the needs of AI developers, and building that really into the core foundations of the blockchain and the smart contract protocols, and solving for the needs of that audience. So Sahara is really a purpose-built blockchain. It's not meant to be a general purpose blockchain. It's purposely built for the tokenization of things like data sets, agents, and models, and enabling more what I call a monetization and provenance layer that allows you to basically track ownership of these different types of assets on the blockchain, and enabling fair ownership and equitable ownership of people's contributions to the development of AI. So this isn't like a blockchain that's really simply integrating with AI agents or being retrofitted with agent DeFi. It's really infrastructure that's being built to help open up this what we call sort of AI economy, and create a more transparent and more equitable environment for people that want to build AI.
Okay, understood. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward. Thanks for explaining that, Jesse. And now, if you'd like us to take through the Sahara journey, the stage is all yours.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so just a little bit of background on Sahara. So Sahara has, at its core, AI in its DNA. So, unlike some projects and other, Web3 companies out there, Sahara is really starting off as a Web2 AI company, and now moving into the world of Web3 and blockchain, and bringing, that deep understanding of AI with it. Um, and Sahara is backed by, very strong, visionary investors across both the AI as well as crypto ecosystems. And so this lets us kind of merge, the best of both of these worlds to tackle, these problems that we're focused on, which are things like, the opacity of AI development, and, being able to enable better attribution to address kind of what we kind of consider to be the extractive economy of today's AI ecosystem. Um, and so just kind of, I guess, breaking down like what we call like decentralized AI is, that's sort of a fairly dense concept. So, we can kind of unpack that a little bit. But what that means is, data sets, models, agents becoming traceable, ownable, and programmable on the blockchain. And so what you get with decentralized AI is an understanding of who contributed to the development of AI models, proof of who actually contributed to the creation of data sets. You have the ability to incentivize as well as enable on-chain payments, and using our smart contract framework, creating composable AI assets. So things like on-chain licenses and usage policy enforcement on-chain. And then finally, being able to transparently have the rewards and the royalties for the success of these different assets on chain, basically flowing and routing to the creators in a transparent way, programmatically on the blockchain. And so monetization and participation is one of the sort of, I'd say, like key factors of what we're trying to enable here. And so right now, like one of the core issues is that AI development contributions often go unrewarded. So, you have these sort of unsung heroes of AI development, the people that are out there basically curating data sets, labeling them, annotating them. Those are people that put a lot of time and energy into, improving these, foundational models, as well as enabling the fine tuning of models that often don't get their fair share of the benefit of AI. And so what we're trying to enable here is allowing dataset curators to earn fees through our programmable licenses, and then have the developers of different models and agents also be able to earn more directly from their products on a per inference basis using our on-chain payment systems. And basically what this allows is more fair and transparent development, and contributors are basically able to better realize the upside and the benefit of their efforts when it comes to things like data set creation as well as agent development. So basically what this means is if somebody's building on top of something that you've created, you will not only be recognized, and not only will you have your efforts attributed to these different agents and models that are including your data, but you'll also be rewarded.
Got it. So let's say that I have a AI model, or let's say that as simple as a data set, not even a model, and I want to tokenize it, be it a model, be it a data set. So how would I go on to tokenize it and start earning rewards from that? Will I have to go to a specific platform? Will I have to deploy some information in a smart contract, or how does that look like?
Yeah. So say you are uploading a climate data set for the benefit of someone that wants to create you know a climate science agent. Basically what you would do is you would have your data set, you can go to the Sahara developer platform, which
Hmm.
is one of our main applications. And you can register that on chain. And by doing so, basically what you get is an NFT that represents your ownership. It's like a title or a deed that basically um, you know indicates that you're the creator of this particular asset on the blockchain. And then what that allows you to do is later create a license NFT, which allows you to basically set the policy for usage. So we have different types of licenses for commercial, non-commercial use, and it allows you to basically define the usage rights for that particular data set. And so as users are consuming your data set and embedding it into their projects, whether it be an agent or a RAG pipeline, people will be licensing your data set, and that will be triggering a distribution of payments. So you can set the price for your product on our marketplace, and then people can go and browse that marketplace and purchase the various data sets. So the creator of that climate data set will have their royalties basically streamed back to them. And we use different types of token structures to enable this. So we use obviously ERC 721 NFTs to show the root ownership of these different assets on chain. But then we also use time bound and usage bound access tokens. So ERC 3525 tokens for being able to basically set those specific policy access features. And then we also have what we call contribution NFTs. So if you're somebody that's participating in the creation of a data set using our data services platform, you can basically earn what we call a token bound or a soul bound NFT, which is our contribution NFT. And once you've contributed a certain number of data points to a data set, that allows you to basically stake your contribution NFT and to staking pools, and then you would be then able to earn a portion of the royalties or the revenues that are associated with that particular data set. And so each asset that gets created has its own wallet using an ERC 6551 token bound account wallet. And that's basically how people would be receiving their rewards. And so you can think of, this whole layer as sort of this, monetization layer that's basically like programmable equity in, the success of these different data sets and agents. And so we have different methods for tokenizing both data sets and agents, but the front door to our protocols are basically our developer platform, where you can go and register these assets, as well as get access to our SDKs, as well as our agent builder, and then also our marketplace, which is really, you can think of that as like Hugging Face on chain, where you're able to basically browse and select different types of data sets and models to build your agents with.
Understood. And Jesse, just one follow-up question on that. You mentioned that you folks have different types of licenses as well. So is there a open license, like somewhat similar to MIT license, where
Yes.
if someone wants to open source their data set, they can just open source it and anyone can use it without paying any royalty or anything?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so we are not just focused on monetization solely. We also want to help, proliferate the, open source and, the MIT licensed, assets as well. So absolutely, yes, we do have that as a particular option when it comes to minting licenses. We have multiple different open source license types that you can select from. But then also, in addition to that, you have the ability to set a commercial license or a remix license that gives you the option to basically create a monetization policy for your asset. So definitely both are important parts of the whole flow.
Got it, got it. Yeah, I mean, that's very good to have because, we as developers loves open source.
Yes, no, totally. I think like, a big part of what we're trying to do is obviously we want to allow people to contribute to the open source community, but then also for those people that, do this as a career and make money, which there's a lot of people out there that are contributing to data sets as their full-time job. We want to make it easier for them to also be rewarded for that and have their efforts be not go unnoticed, and also not be extracted by other actors out there that aren't necessarily you know um,
Trying to just exploit. Yeah.
yeah, basically aren't recognizing that, as well as having the proportionate amount of shares and rewards flow back to them.
Got it. So, on the similar thing, there is one question from Carl. Uh, since this is very related to the current topic, that is why I want to bring it up right now. So, he asked that data sets can be big, they can be huge, right? So, are these data sets stored like on chain, or is there any other mechanism to do that?
Yeah, no, they're not stored on chain. The data sets themselves are stored off chain using what we called our vault system. So we have our own um, decentralized storage solutions that's where the data itself will be hosted. So yeah, that's a really great question. It wouldn't it wouldn't be feasible for us to be able to store all of this data on the blockchain. The blockchain itself is really more of the orchestration and reward layer for people to have the provenance of their contributions be tracked. But yeah, the actual storage of the data itself is off chain.
Understood. Understood. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, sorry, you can, I mean, you can continue with your.
Yeah, no, for sure. So just a quick look at some of the products that we're building. So as mentioned, we're really focused on the development of AI and building solutions for AI developers on chain. So really starting with our data services platform, which is sort of at the root of AI value. So like obviously without clean, labeled, trustworthy data, it's really difficult to get great models. So this is like the sort of raw material, and the what I sort of call like the oil of the sort of AI industrial economy. And so our data services platform is already live, and it's basically a decentralized peer review platform where contributors can basically provide data points to different data challenges. So there's different data tasks that get requested by our enterprise partners that are looking to build out data sets. And our platform is built as sort of a decentralized peer review system where contributors engage in a peer review process, and they ensure the data integrity and reliability through sort of a collective validation process. And we have incentive mechanisms built directly into the platform where there's basically a structured reward system that keeps the contributors rewarded and motivated to maintain a high degree of data quality. And so that aligns the efforts of the labelers and the annotators with the people that are requesting the data. And so right now, we have over 100,000 contributors on the Sahara data services platform. We have about a 92% data point approval rating, which means that overall the data set quality is very high, but then there is a certain number of data points that get rejected. And yeah, this is the sort of, I guess, the foundation for the Sahara ecosystem, which is creating this platform that turns raw data into tokenized assets. And this is what is sort of informing the training of the next generation of AI models and agents. And
Mhm.
so this is the first product that we're launching.
Yeah.
We're also launching a AI studio,
So just
which
before you go into AI Studio, I have a question related to data services platform. So you mentioned that there is a peer review which happens for data, and
Yes.
that is for high accuracy of data. So, how do you ensure that these reviewers themselves provide accurate and reliable reviews and reliable data on reviews?
Yeah, so we have different ways of doing that, and one of them is through what we call like honeypots. So we inject certain questions and certain tasks that we know are essentially bogus, and if people are basically providing us with the wrong answers to these questions, we can essentially detect whether or not their contributions are honest and of high quality, and that will basically lead their contributions to be, sort of tombstoned and not included in the overall data set. So we have different sort of, I guess, safeguards and guardrails that we've built in on top of different roles. So you have roles of reviewers and validators, and it's just their job basically to review these data points. And so through having these different types of rules, as well as checks and balances in the form of honeypots,
Mhm.
we are able to more or less ensure that there's a higher standard and a higher quality of data. And basically, if you're participating in the AI studio, you're doing that in order to get rewarded. And if the system detects that someone's trying to game or farm the system by not contributing high quality data, it will wean that out, and you just won't earn rewards. So yeah, basically our tokenomics are there to basically keep those incentives in line for the people that are participating in the data services platform. And then we're also, right now working on introducing some AI-based sort of adversarial auditing. So ways of basically programmatically checking the quality of the data and having AI be able to challenge the quality of the data. So that's another way that we're currently looking to sort of just ensure that data quality remains high.
Understood. Understood. Thanks for explaining that, Jesse.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so on top of that, we are also building an AI studio, which is sort of like GitHub for AI development. And it's a studio that allows you to perform all these on-chain actions. It allows you to register your data sets, license your model, so license your data sets as well as agents, and basically do all of the things that AI developers need to do to build their products. A couple of like the core pillars of the AI studio are the data hub. So this allows you to discover and access and monetize high quality data sets, as well as our model hub. So this allows you to basically access different open models like Llama, DeepSeek, as well as other fine-tuned models that might be derived from the data sets that we have on the marketplace, as well as custom agents as well. And then our compute hub, which we partner with the best compute providers out there, like Lepton, Hyperbolic, and so basically for the once you have developed your AI agent and you want to have run that, you can utilize our compute hub and basically get access to inference directly from the platform, as well as pay for that inference using the Sahara token. So it's basically a one-stop solution for building as well as launching AI agents, all in one place on the blockchain with built-in provenance tracking using our smart contract protocols, as well as incentives through our token.
Understood.
Um, so yeah, so in terms of royalty sharing and revenue flows, there's a little bit of a busy chart, but the crux of this really is our programmable royalty system ensures that value is always flowing upstream to the creators. And so if somebody has taken your data set and embedded that into a RAG pipeline, or has used it to create an agent, and that agent is having inference API queries run against it, that those a portion of those royalties will flow back to the creators of the data sets. And so royalties are being enforced on chain, and we use something called our royalty graph to track all of the sort of regressions up to the upstream owners of the different assets that are being contributed for these different agents, and ensure that ownership is always being recognized and royalties are flowing to the owners. So yeah, right now we are in testnet. So we've just launched what we call Siwa. Siwa is our sandbox environment for people to start going and actually testing out our protocols, as well as testing out our applications. So this just went live a week ago, and it's basically starting off with dataset tokenization. So we've had a tremendous amount of activity on Siwa already. We've had I think close to about a million different touch points on chain. So people actually registering their data sets on chain and minting ownership NFTs. So it's been a tremendous amount of uptake on Siwa already. And so that's where we're starting right now, is the dataset tokenization, enabling datasets to be tokenized. People can basically go and mint an ownership NFT, and they register that using what we call our global registry. And so this is starting to ensure provenance and attribution, and they access this through the Sahara dev portal. The next rollout and the next release for Siwa is going to be our licensing and royalty monetization protocols. So the next iteration of this is going to be being able to mint a licensed NFT and automate the distribution of fees, as well as be able to start to have royalties start to stream back to their royalty vaults. And so this is the first step in sort of empowering creators to monetize their AI assets. Next iteration of Siwa will be agent tokenization and contribution NFTs. So we're going to be enabling people to tokenize agents through our agent builder. And so what that basically allows you to do is set up multi-step workflows and multi-step pipelines, which can include multiple data sets as well as prompts, using our agent builder, and basically track that full lineage of assets. So you can think of this as like your Lego builder for an agent. And for each data set that gets added to that agent, you'll have contribution tracking. So the people that have created these data sets will have their contributions tracked using contribution NFTs. And that's the next step of allowing dataset creators and data providers to have their efforts rewarded through the creation of agents. And then finally, later in July, what we're going to be doing is fully open sourcing all of our protocols. Right now, they're basically built into our front end, but we're going to have a fully permissionless open source protocols that will allow anybody to basically build on top of these protocols with different smart contract templates. And this will really be an invitation for all Web3 builders to basically come and start to build on top of these protocols and start to build them into their own set of dApps as they want to. And so that's the sort of current Siwa testnet roadmap. And then on top of all these things, we are going to be rolling out lots of improvements to our applications. So we're going to be iterating on our developer portal, as well as releasing our AI marketplace, which, as I mentioned, is kind of like an on-chain version of Hugging Face.
Got it. So Jesse, on the roadmap, probably a dumb question, but I just have one question: that since the data tokenization or data set tokenization is live now, and the agents tokenization will be coming up in coming months, as you mentioned. So during the time of agent tokenization, when that is live, will we be able to use the current data sets which are already tokenized, or during that time some like the network will upgrade and we will have to post new data sets?
No, yeah, that's a good question. So the data sets that are getting uploaded now will be usable after we push these new changes in terms of uh, agent tokenization. So all the data sets that are getting uploaded today, they
Mhm.
will be usable moving forward. And same with once we actually move to mainnet, we will be making sure that there's a one-to-one match of the NFTs that are getting minted on Siwa, and ensure that that provenance and that ownership also gets tracked on mainnet. So you won't be losing your ownership rights even once we migrate over to mainnet with Sahara. So that's a really good question. Yeah. So you can think of this as right now, like we're just rolling out the ability for people to tokenize data sets and start to earn rewards. But then with the launch of our agent builder, we'll be then opening up our protocols to also tokenizing more complex agent workflows as well.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah. So basically, I guess just to sum it up, in the time that we have, building with Sahara is really about creating this transparency and earning potential for people that want to build AI on chain. The Sahara protocols are, built for transparent attribution, as well as allowing people to just have better control and ownership over their data sets, over their agents, and then creating this, monetization layer for people that are building on chain. We are also looking to push the boundaries of DeFi as well. So while Sahara AI is an AI native blockchain built for AI developers, we're also building some really cool stuff in the DeFi space that's in keeping with this sort of AI native sort of mission, going to be driven primarily by on-chain agents. So we're really excited for that as well.
Understood.
And yeah, this is just a quick look at the information for anybody that wants to actually start building their DApps on Sahara. So this is the network name, Sahara Testnet. You can see the RPC URL here, and our chain ID. So developers are more than welcome to start coming and deploying their DApps, and we are really looking to work with different projects that may be building on-chain agents, and so we're definitely open to exploring these types of projects with developers out there, as well as we're starting to actually incubate a few projects as well. So we're really excited about that. We have an incubator program, so if there's any projects out there that are interested, we have different programs out there to help kind of facilitate the growth of this ecosystem and help builders get set up on Sahara.
Yep, 100%. And just on that, we from the QuickNote side also have a coupon code for you, Sahara builders, if you want to start building on Sahara. So you can just check out the coupon code, which should be showing on the screen right now. So if you want to get started with Sahara and want to access paid QuickNote services, you can just use this coupon code to get started, and you will be getting free access to the build plan, which is the $50 plan. And this coupon code can be redeemed within a week. So make sure to use this, and it's case sensitive, so use it as it is. It's just Sahara, Sahara.
Awesome. Thanks, Hill. Yeah, I know. So thank you so much. I mean, it was really great to be able to share more about Sahara with your audience, and we're thrilled about the partnership with QuickNode. You guys are best in breed when it comes to Web3 infrastructure. So we know that our infra is in amazing hands, and we're excited to grow the ecosystem with you guys.
For sure. Thank you so much, Jesse, for doing this and explaining all the audience members about Sahara, how they can build their own, data sets and deploy their own data sets and AI models on chain, and start earning from it. So I will open the stage now to all the audience members who have been watching us until now. So if you all have any questions related to anything which we just saw, anything related to AI agents or AI agents on chain or Sahara, feel free to ask them, and Jesse and I will be happy to answer those. And for those of you who are watching this as a YouTube video, feel free to drop those questions in the comment section, and we will make sure to pass them to Jesse and the Sahara team. So in the meantime, if in the meantime, while you're thinking on those questions, Jesse, if you don't mind, I myself have two general questions around Sahara. So the first one is, could you briefly explain or talk a little bit about how easy it is for non Web3 developer who is, AI native developer to get started with Sahara, get started on Sahara Siva. For example, developers who are very familiar with OpenAI APIs, Anthropic APIs, and even vice versa for Web3 developers who are not very familiar with AI stuff. So, like vice versa question for non Web3 developers to get started on Sahara, and for Web3 developers to get started on the Sahara. How easy is it for them? Because this is kind of a hybrid situation where it's a very good collaboration or meeting point of AI and blockchain tech.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and it's something that as the product team, we're really focused on this because, as you rightly mentioned, right, like we're kind of at this intersection of Web two AI and Web three, and so we need to make the experience appealing and approachable for both audiences. So, one of the big things for us is creating an a user experience and an environment that's familiar to AI developers. So one of the things that's important there is abstracting some of the complexity of Web3 away from the experience. So, using things like account abstraction and gas abstraction to sort of smooth that out. So we're working with partners to deploy, 4337 account abstraction, as well as, our own relayers to facilitate, gas sponsorship. So when people want to interact with the blockchain using our interface, it's not, something that they have, there's a lot of learning curve there. Of course, for people that are familiar with Web3, they won't have any issue, using their MetaMask wallet, and they won't be in any way thrown off by, different prompts for paying for gas or confirming transactions. But for somebody that's not familiar with that, it could be a bit of a jarring experience and create a bit of friction there. So what we're really trying to focus on there is just, smoothing out the onboarding experience, as well as just overall, as you're actually interacting with our protocols of, setting up your data set and tokenizing it, minting an ownership NFT or a license NFT. Each of those different points along the journey will be smoothed out using account abstraction and gas abstraction. So that's one of the points there. But then, when it comes to Web2 developers that are familiar with, primarily maybe working with APIs, we have our own APIs, and these would be following things like the OpenAI API standard. So getting started with actually building applications is really, really easy for AI developers. If they've built AI applications using OpenAI's APIs, all they need to do is just switch out that endpoint address, and their app should be up and running on Sahara. So it's a really smooth transition from using your Web2 developer tools and then sort of making that transition over to Sahara. So that's the way we're really focused, is just like on that onboarding, and overall, like the tooling itself in the AI developer studio will be very familiar. It will look and feel a lot like what you see when you're using Anthropic or OpenAI. So yeah, that's a big focus for us on the product side. And then for Web3 developers as well, I think it presents a really, really clean and approachable, interface that, again, if you're building on-chain agents, all of these different tools should be very familiar for you. And then, if you're wanting to get deeper into the weeds on our smart contract documentation and start actually, deploying your own contracts, you can just, basically use our documentation, and it will have all the familiar sort of quick start guides for Web3 developers that want to go down kind of their own path. And we'll also be, releasing our own SDKs as well as a CLI tool, so that people that want to build, in a more Web3 native way, they'll be able to do that.
Got it. Yeah, and that being said, in the coming weeks, we will be working with the Sahara team to come up with tutorials where we will actually show you how to build stuff on Sahara. So just look out for that. You can subscribe to the QuickNode YouTube channel and follow Sahara and QuickNode on Twitter, where we will be sharing those tutorials.
Yeah.
Yeah, and looks like, Jesse, there people do not have like any questions, but on the closing note, I just have one closing question. So, would you like to share, or if you can remember, any interesting project or use case which you have seen on the Sahara Siva testnet, or any interest for a particular use case, if you would like to share something?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some really cool projects happening. One of them in partnership with MyShell. So we're doing some really cool data challenges with MyShell. MyShell is helping us sponsor some, data tasks. So, people that are using our data services platform can go on there and find different data tasks that will, allow them to earn Sahara points, which will then qualify them for airdrops later down the road. So that's a cool initiative that we have in partnership with MyShell. A couple other really interesting ones that we have is we're building our own DeFi, DEFAI agentic trading solution. So we're creating our own trading copilot that's going to be integrated with an MCP server that allows people to basically use autonomous trading bots on different SEX and DEX platforms, starting with Binance. So this is a really cool one. It's using Sahara agent builder to create the agent, and then it's also being trained on data sets that have been basically tokenized on the Sahara platform. And then lastly, we are working with a project called AxeGrad, which is a model evaluation and benchmarking platform. So you can think of this as sort of like chatbot arena on chain. So people that are deploying their own deploying their own agents on our blockchain can basically have those be listed on this chatbot leaderboard. And it's basically an open model evaluation where people can basically evaluate the efficacy of these agents and models. And there's also going to be a tie back to our protocols as well as incentive systems for that as well. So people that are building really effective agents will also be having those efforts be rewarded through our token layer. So those are just a few, I think, of the really cool examples of projects that are building on Sahara right now. But we're really excited for the future in terms of what kinds of other really cool agent use cases we can facilitate, and we're really excited to see just like the crazy amount of uptake that we've seen on Siwa. So the number of data sets has been really encouraging. So we're excited for once we launch our marketplace to see a really strong supply of great assets there waiting for everybody once it opens up.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that, Jesse. And I mean, I personally was very excited for this stream as well, because we talked about AI, we talked about blockchain, and both of these are like bleeding edge, top of the notch tech tech stacks, or tech, just technologies right now. So I mean, it will be interesting to see what people come up with. and what kind of use cases people come up with. Because given this intersection of AI and blockchain, it's just it's just very interesting, and the possibilities are kind of endless. Because yes, blockchain does give you uh, permissionless environment, it does give you decentralized environment, but because of those kind of situations, it kind of becomes very restrictive in some manner. But with integrating AI and the opening more possibilities, I think there will be some novel use cases coming up in future on the Sahara blockchain.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're super excited, and we know that there's going to be so many things, unforeseen kind of improvements and innovations happening in this space. So we're just thrilled to be kind of at that intersection point. So it's a really exciting space to be in, and yeah, we can't wait to see what builders are bringing onto the Sahara blockchain.
For sure. And for everyone who's watching, be on the lookout for those new upcoming Sahara tutorials, which will be in collaboration with Sahara and QuickNote team. So thank you so much, everyone who joined us. And a big thank you to you, Jesse, from myself and the entire QuickNote team for joining us and, enlightening everyone about Sahara.
Yeah, thanks, Sahil. It's been a pleasure having this session with you, and we're really excited about the partnership with QuickNode. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.